Oh man, that's
Coming
very
in.
creative. Justin, man.
Oh god. Oh man. That hurts.
What's up, guys? So a lot of my friends keep saying, why would you get such an old jet ski? A two-stroke. Why would you get such an old two-stroke jet ski? I'm going to answer that for you today because it's a really simple answer. Okay? Everybody says, but there's so much work. You have to pre-mix oil and all this stuff. Having the right tools makes your job a lot simpler when you're doing stuff like this. So I know that I'm about to put 5 gallons of fuel at 50 to 1 in my jet ski. So if you order, if you order one of these little bottles, you'll see right on there that it says 50 to 1. And you see, I have it set for 5 gallons right now. That's where I'm at. I'm leaning it a little bit, but you can see I've got it set for 5 gallons, right? You can see down there, it's at the 5 gallon mark at 50 to 1. I could choose 40 to 1, 45 to 1, all the way back. You can do 100 to 1. So you see, it's that simple. Literally, this is gallons right here. So I just go, I'm gonna be putting 5 gallons in. So I fill this oil up to the 5 gallon mark right there, and then all I have to do is take my gas that I get, pour 5 gallons worth of fuel in there, and then just dump the oil that I've already done in there, and then as you drive, it shakes up the tank, and by the time you get there, you got a good premix. It's really simple. We'll go into the rest of that. Let me put some fuel in this jet ski, and then we'll keep talking about why I chose a 2-stroke over a 4-stroke. Alright, for my part 2, why I prefer a 2-stroke to a 4-stroke. It's literally that simple. You don't even have to use the pre-mixer. Matter of fact, I wouldn't suggest using a pre-mixer on these older jet skis. Everything is 100% accessible and easy to access. All your lines are all easy to access. Everything is easy to access. You can literally pull this engine out of this jet ski in about 25 minutes and have a new engine swapped in here in the same amount of time. That's how easy it is to switch these out. See, you just pull the PTO drive, those 2 bolts, pops right off, boom, the engine disconnects and it just comes right out this way. You just pull the whole engine right out of this thing. Disconnect the exhaust port right there, boom, swap in your new engine. Spark plugs are easy to get to, and there's only 2 spots that have to be lubricated when it comes to normal maintenance normally on these jet skis. One is the starter gear, and that nipple is right here, and the other one right down there with the rubber grommet, and that goes down to the final drive system back there where the turbine and all that is, the shaft. So basically you're lubricating the shaft every 100 hours. Other than that, really simple. There's 50% less moving parts on this engine. So as long as it has good compression, things sound normal, and you don't run these things completely ragged idling all the time, and you actually give them some RPMs every now and then, you feed them a little speed and you make them happy, these things will run forever. Literally. So normally, when things fail on this, it's either the wear ring on the back, which means you have to drop the jet drive system, push out the wear ring, put a new wear ring on it, or the pistons. Usage, basically not running good proper oil or just overheating the unit, idling too often, stuff like that. That's how you kill these engines and wear out the piston sleeves. It's literally as simple as just getting a new head or boring or milling the head out, putting new pistons on and new rings, and you're done. This does not have valves. This has none of that stuff. There's 50% less moving parts in here. This is about 800 cc's of engine. It's basically a Banshee engine. That's what it is. It's like a Banshee engine. It's a 2-stroke Banshee engine. Barely weighs anything. The ski comes in at 375 pounds, I think. I can lift it up like it's nothing. And it starts super duper easily. Wait, matter of fact, I've been letting it sit. Let's give it a few primes here. You can see the gas going into the primer line right there. There we go. Should be enough. Let's kick it over. See if she starts up here. It's been sitting for about a week now since we took it out. just work. That's all there is to it. They're such simple engines. They just work. The maintenance on these things is so simplistic compared to a 4-stroke engine. There's like literally nothing to these engines. That's how simple they are. You know, the EPA hates them because they spit a little bit of oil in the water coming out of the exhaust because they're all 2-stroke machines. But they can be super duper reliable if they're well cared for. That's just all there is to it, man. You know, 4-strokes just have superchargers and a whole bunch of other failure points. These are much simpler engines. Like I said, as long as you maintain them and just keep up with them, they'll run forever. There's really not much to them. They're basically just a simple engine. There's nothing to these things. So you can pick up these old 2-stroke jet skis for around $1,200, $500, $1,000. There really isn't much to them. There's tons of YouTube videos showing you how to rebuild the engines, how to work on them. I mean, they're so simplistic. It's not even funny, you know. That's right. I'm fast as fuck, boy. But and they're way more powerful in a smaller package. So this jet ski runs about what a supercharger does. The only downside is it can only hit a top RPM band, and once it reaches that RPM band, it can't go any faster, basically. So that's the downside. You can turbocharge these things to make them faster. I've seen a lot of people do it. It's pretty cheap, but honestly, man, they're so powerful out the hole that you basically feel like you're running a 4-stroke until you reach about 55, 60 miles an hour, and then they kind of fall on their face. You run out of RPM band to keep pushing them harder. So I will say the 4-strokes normally do go faster unless you modify your jet ski, your old 2-stroke, turbocharge them, stuff like that. But as far as power on the low end and mid-range, they have just ridiculous amounts of power, because think about it, they're only performing 2 strokes as opposed to a 4-stroke. So you're getting just instantaneous power, just like a supercharger, right out the hole. So these engines can be much smaller, whereas the 4-stroke engines have to be like 1200, 1400, 1800 cc to push what this old 760 can do with just a 2-stroke engine. Now, as far as top end goes, you won't reach the same as the 4-stroke, especially if it's supercharged or something like that. But as far as power out the hole, mid-range throttle, stuff like that, these old 2-strokes are just monsters, man. So, you know, an 800 cc 2-stroker will absolutely decimate a 1400 or 1800 if it doesn't have a supercharger. I mean, they're a radically different power. So they're cheap, they're affordable, they're easy to maintain, they're simple engines, and there's not much to them. And if you paint them like I did and you spend a little time on them, they can actually look pretty darn nice. These old jet skis have a way of just looking nice if you give them a little bit of time. Just give them some of your time. That's all they want. They just want some TLC and some of your time. Keep these old machines around, man. As much as the EPA hates them, we love them because they're fun, they're noisy, and they absolutely shred across the water. So 2-stroke versus 4-stroke. I myself am a fan of 2-strokes when it comes to water sports. Not a huge fan of the 4-stroke life. Just I'm not. I'm not. That's all there is to it. I know how simple these engines are and how easy these machines are to maintain. So every jet ski I've ever wanted has always been a 2-stroke. I've never wanted a 4-stroke for any reason at all. Now I like Ron's. We've been running those supercharged jet skis around. Though they'll hit crazy speeds, like I said, man, you have to rebuild the supercharger on those every 110 hours. They're just prone to a lot more problems because they're heavier skis. They're having to push more mass, taking more drive to do that. So, I don't know. I'm a 2-stroke guy. They're nice skis. Fix them up a little bit. They're nice little machines. That's all. Get yourself one. You'll enjoy it. I'm a 2-stroke fan. They're just, if you want a machine that is easy to work on and basically requires a very minimal amount of maintenance and things, get an older 2-stroke. You'll have fun with them, I promise. Deuces.
Are you sure this is okay? You're in country, dude. Live a little. Now, she's pretty sensitive, so go easy on the throttle, okay? All right.